Hey guys, welcome to Selenium with Java, Selenium WebDriver version 4, session 1. So in case you are really new to Selenium, then please refer my playlist already created. Lot of video you can available in my YouTube channels using Selenium WebDriver version 3. You can go through that and then you can surely upgrade to Selenium WebDriver version 4. In today's sessions, I'll cover the important topics like software testing introduction and principles, what is automation testing coverage and the key consideration, automation testing life cycle, introduction to Selenium WebDriver, introduction of Maven, and how to create a Maven project and add the dependency in the project object model .xml file, silent features of WebDriver Manager in Selenium, and live before and after Selenium WebDriver Manager came into the market, how to set up Eclipse and WebDriver environment, and how to develop and execute test script using Selenium WebDriver version 4 for Chrome and Firefox browser. So this will be ongoing playlist for Selenium WebDriver version 4 and important changes wherever came in Selenium 4, what are not available in Selenium 3. You can get all the video. So it will take some time, but I will slowly upload all important videos specific to Selenium 4 Salient features. What is software testing? So in case you are really new to the software information technology industry, right? So you might need to know what are the different structure of like different team or different kind of team or different working environment, right? So there will be like a developer who used to develop the code, there will be tester who used to testing the code developed by the developer, there will be business analyst who used to deal with the requirement like product owner, scrum master, like management, all this stuff. So first the code, right? First the like as and when something coming into the new, right? The requirement will be finalized, approach will be finalized, planning will be done. Then that product development will started. Once development is completed, it will go through lots of variety of the testing life cycles, and after that, right, product go to the live environment, and then support and enhancement activity will be definitely there throughout the life cycle until the products, right, withdrawn from the market. So what is software testing? Software testing is the process of evaluating and verifying that a software, product or application does what it is expected to do. Then what is it expected to do? What is the means of that? It means that it should work based on the requirement design, based on the blueprint design, based on the approach finalized. It involves execution of software or system component using manual or automation tools to evaluate one or more properties of interest. The main purpose of software testing is to identify error, gap or missing requirement in respect to actual requirement. The benefit of testing include preventing bugs, reducing development cost, improving overall performance and avoiding any real-time issue. So whenever it comes to testing, whether it's a manual testing you are doing it manually, right, step by step, or whether it's automation testing through any of the automation tool, technique or the framework, the objective will always remain to identify any kind of bug, to identify any kind of right issues or defect, and definitely identifying them at the earliest, you will definitely reduce the overall development cost, overall project lifecycle cost. So analytics prefers saying software testing as a white box and black box testing. In the simple term, software testing means the verification of application under test or AUT. Whenever testing came into the market, right, there are only couple of testings available, but now it is extended and a lot of variety of testing types is available to certify the product. There are two primary categories. One is the functional testing, one is the non-functional testing. Right? So it will start with the unit testing. which is primarily done by the developer itself to validate that each software component or unit performs as expected. A unit is nothing but the smallest testable component of any application. Once unit testing is successful, developer will release the code for the tester to start their testing, and then testing team will start their testing with first the functional testing, where they will check functions by emulating business scenarios based on functional requirement. Black box testing is a common way of to verify functions. Once functional testing is done, they will slowly go to the integration testings, where they will ensure that software component or the functions operate together as a whole. Then end-to-end testing will come, whereas all the application lifecycle tester will try to certify that it is working as expected. Then regression testing will be done, because as and when product lifecycle continues, lot of releases will be coming, lot of fixes will be made, lot of new enhancement or feature will be coming. So definitely you need to certify, tester need to certify that existing thing does not broken due to multiple release. So through regression testing, testing team will check whether new feature does not break or degrade functionality. Sanity testing can be used to verify menus, functions and command at the surface level or the UI level, when there is no time for a full regression test. Then non-functional testing will come, where primarily the performance testing, security testing, stress testing, usability testing will become. So performance testing is nothing but how the software performs under different workload or load testing. Then test testing certify that how much strain the system can take before it fails, considered to be a type of non-functional testing. Then usability testing, validating how well a customer can use a system or web application to complete their task. Apart from there are security testings, where tester will certify that how system is restricted from the external theft. Then at the end of the day, acceptance testings will be there by the end user to certify whether system as a whole work as intended at their end. So there are primarily 7 software testing principles available in the software testing lifecycle. All tests should meet the customer requirement. So customer requirement should be our Bible, but definitely requirement also we can find bug, a requirement can be updated. But until it is updated, customers requirement should be Bible for both the developer and both the testing team. Developer need to develop based on the requirement, testing team need to certify the product or do the different kind of testings based on the requirement only. Software testing should be performed by an independent third party, because the mindset should be different. Otherwise developer can do the development testing, there is no need of different testing team. But that is the way, in case same person is doing all the activity, mindset will never change, and they will fail to identify the critical issues. So in case third party with different mindset come into the pictures, they will identify the issue based on their kind of statistics or strategy. Exhaustive testing is not possible sometimes because of timeline issue, because of resourcing issue, because of schedule variance, all this stuff. So we need the optimal amount of testing based on the risk assessment of the application. So here risk-based testing can be implemented, where majority of the criticals or important functionality can be tested with the stipulated time frame to certify that all the criticals, functionality or unit are working as expected. All the tests should be conducted or planned before implementing it. In case product is implemented, there is no point of testing. Definitely support work will be there, but as much as testing should be possible, all the defects should be identified before it actually launch into the production. Software testing principles follows the Pareto rule, which is nothing but the 80-20 rules, which means that 80% defect or bug or failure will be coming from 20% program component. So as a tester, right, they need to understand the domain business very thoroughly. They need to identify the 20% critical component, and they need to give more focus on testing those components to identify the maximum issues or bug or defect. Start testing with small part like unit testing, then we'll go to the large part. First we'll go unit testing, then functionals, right, system testing you can say, then go to integration, then go to end to end, like that. So it will start from the smaller component and it will extend to the large part as a whole of the product. Early testing saves time and money. So as and when you are starting the testing at the early phase of software development or testing life cycle, it like all the defect will be uncovered at the earlier stage. And as and when you are able to identify the defect at the earlier stage, it will definitely saves the time and saves the overall project cost. So that is the way like testing should be start in parallel with the development nowadays. What is automation testing? So why automation testing came into the market? So manual testing we are doing it for long. It is not sometime manual testing but different kind of testing, right? We are doing it manually or manual intervention without any proper tool. So where same testing we are doing in repetitive way and similar kind of time is going for every cycle, right? So that is the reason sometime due to some timeline issue, due to some budget issue, we cannot test all the things, right? Because it will be time consuming again. So manual testing sometime cause, right, delay of the project, like, or slippage of the delivery, right, or sometime critical functionality testing might be missed, right? This is the primary reason where automation testing came into the picture. And through automation testing, it is similar process. Testing will be same, but we are trying to do the testings with less manual intervention and with the help of relevant framework, tool and architecture. So automation testing is a software testing method or technique to test any application and compare the actual result with the expected result. This can be achieved by designing test script with the help of relevant automation tools and framework. In manual testing, test case will be executed manually without any proper support from relevant tools. However, for automated testing, the test cases will be executed with the assistance of one or more appropriate tools. Automation testing is more reliable as there is less chances of human error. In manual testing, users have to run test cases manually every time based on their need. Hence, it is time consuming. However, in automation testing, once scripts are ready, user can run the test cases any number of times with different combination of data with minimal time. Apart from that, same test cases with the automation testing approach, they can run it different operating system, different browser as well with minimal like manual intervention. The main goal of automation testing is to increase the test efficiency, right, increasing the coverage and develop software value. A really strong set of test suite that are executed repeatedly each time a change is made to the code reduces the risk of issues leaking into the field. Automated test helps in finding bug early in the software development lifecycle, thereby it reduces the risk of delivering faulty software to the business or to the company. In a constant changing code base, users have the ability to automatically execute the test on each commit. User won't have to continuously carry out manual steps by setting up the environment or remember the step to execute each test. Everything will be done automatically. Automated tests carry out the same step every time with precision. The results are generally made available to everyone concerned in the least possible amount of time. Extension and tools available for automated testing which provide features to measure a number of code quality metrics such as code coverage, technical debt, code semantics check, etc. Automation testing, however, automation testing has an upfront cost and they do take some time to develop, that investment will pay off in a long term in terms of reduced workload, eliminating manual error, accuracy, and saving on cost and time. So whenever you are doing the automation testing, you cannot start the automation testing immediately. First two things you need to do. One is you need to do the ROI calculation, which is nothing but return on investment. So first you need to calculate whatever investment you are doing, how much return you are getting on the investment. In case your investment return you are not getting properly, then there is no point on automation until your organization or customer demands that full automation. So I'm just giving a simple example. Let's say you want to automate 100 test cases, and if you want to execute manually, it might take like one person can execute 10 test cases per day. So in case I want to execute 100 test cases, so it will take 10 days time. But you want to do automation 100 test cases, initially your time will be like 30% day. After that, if you want to run them and maintenance, like every time it will require 2 days time. So for single run it will be 32 days, but for manual it is 10 days. But think for long term investment. In case same set of test cases you want to run with different browser, different operating system, or multiple times, say 20 times. So manually it will be like more or less save every time. So in case one time is taking 10 times, 10% day, so 20 runs means it will be taking 200% day. But automation, your first code is developed by 30% day, and every time if you run or maintain the code, it might 2% day. So 20 into 2% is 70%, 40% day, and 30% initial investment 70%. So you are saving overall 130% day for the long run. So that is the way you need to calculate your return of investment, and your return of investment is good, then definitely you should go ahead with automation testing. But sometime in case your organization customer demand that thing we need to be automated fully, so without return of investment proper also, you can carry on your automation testing. So it will be based on your requirement. And second thing is that you need to do the POC, which is nothing but the proof of concept. So POC stand for proof of concept, where you cannot start the automation until you properly analyze your requirement, you properly analyze your type of application you need to automate, you properly analyze what tool will be used, what framework will be used, how many test cases will be automating, what are the challenges, how will be solving all this stuff. So that you need to do first. Then you need to identify the project, identify the tool, framework, what are the test cases will be automating, what are the different operations will be running, what are the different browser will be running, all this stuff you need to do. So your ROI and the POC are the first step to start your automation journey for any of the right project. So automation testing is useful for couple of aspects. First thing is functional test suite you can definitely automate. Regression test suite means what are the test cases will be executed multiple times, you can automate. And smoke and sanity test suite, definitely for every build or every day, user need to run the smoke or sanity test. So first thing you should start automating the smoke or sanity, then you can go ahead to the regression, then you can go with something called data creation part, wherever you need to create a huge number of data daily basis for some reason. So those part you can automate, and definitely it will give you more ROI or return of investment. Then you can go with the functional, where you can start with system testing, integration end-to-end also. Then you can go with that lifecycle validation, where for a product, end-to-end lifecycle you can automate. So daily you can run, or based on suppose new build or new feature changes, you can run it and certify that nothing got break and your end-to-end lifecycle is working perfectly. So when or where you will be performing the automation testing? First thing is that you cannot start automation testing until your requirement is finalized. Otherwise, in case requirement is getting changed, every time you need to change your code. So better you can hold on. So that is the reason in the agile life cycle, automation should start with n+1 sprint. So in the n sprint, your development will done, and it will be certified that code is working fine. Then in the next sprint, you can take those user story, and you can go with the automation, so that for those story, mostly requirement will be stable. And steady software with respect to manual testing. your application should be stable enough, otherwise you cannot proceed, because in the automation testing sometimes you need to go for, right, some flow of testing. So until your application is stable enough, right, you cannot proceed much with the automation testing. Sometimes time crunch or shortage of time for testing activity, so those are the thing, right, where you can start automation. And for the big project also, right, it is kind of preferred to do automation testing. And project which require to test same functionality often, just like that, like smoke set testing suite or regression suite or the data creation part or the end-to-end lifecycle validation testing, those are the thing, right, where automation testing like need to give much focus. So whenever someone is starting automation testing, right, some key consideration they need to, right, choose, or they need to study for the automated testing solution. What kind of technology to be automated? That is the first thing they need to understand. And right, can they proceed for an open source tool or for commercial license based tooling? Because for open source tooling some challenges might be there, but for some commercial tooling, right, but you need to pay the license cost, right, customer or the project need to bear the license cost, but they can get lot of benefit because that is the real-time support, documentation, all these things are provided by the vendor because you are buying the license. But the open source tool sometimes like that support might not be available. So just need to finalize based on the budget of the project, based on the budget of the organization, based on the budget of the customer. How much training is required for the implementation of test automation? So you require that skill, right, resources. So sometimes like you get some resources, but other resources they are not good with that. So some training is there. You need to identify the trainer who will be giving all this stuff, all artifact, all this stuff. So these are the thing also required. Does the tool match user current software testing process or not? Or do I prefer some in-house implementation, or do I want to outsource test automation activity? Those are the couple of key consideration, right, user need to think before choosing an automation testing solution. Then automation testing lifecycle, just like software development lifecycle, just like software testing lifecycle, just like defect life management lifecycle, there is an automation testing lifecycle also there. So this is the 5-step process. First you need to do the planning, where you need to analyze the requirement first, right, what is the thing you are doing the automation. So in the first phase you need to do that POC and the ROI, the proof of concept and return of investments, right. You'll be identifying the tools, you will be like identifying the solutions or the framework, you'll be identifying the resources, you'll be doing all the planning, okay, and you'll be identifying the test cases, right, or the test suite, whatever you need to automate. Then your test script design will start, where you will be creating the page library, you will be creating the reusable methods or component, you will be designing test step using different element locator. So in the real-time framework, right, whenever you want to automate more test cases, you cannot do it isolated way. You need to think from the reusability standpoint as well. That is the reason it's better to create reusable component as much as possible, so that any changes you can just update that, right, that particular method, and automatically it will reflect everywhere. So you can create the library, page library, reusable component, and like you can identify different element with the different element techniques available. Once your script are ready, basic scripts are ready, then you need to do the enhancement of the script, because your automation testing objective is not only to do the flow, right. Definitely you need to do the manual like flow of the like end-to-end life cycle or the right, step by step, but at the end of the day, right, you need to validate that expected thing is working in every steps or every pages or the life cycle or end-to-end flow as well. So that is the reason you need to insert verification point with the help of assert or verify command. You need to parameterize, because same thing in case you need to execute multiple times with different variety of the data. So definitely you are not writing the same code again and again and again. Instead of that same code, you can run with different data combination. You need to handle the expected and unexpected data in case they are coming. After that, once your code is ready, complete development is done, parameters is done, assertion point added, right, expected unexpected error are handled, then you need to run them, right, as part of trial, and you need to see whether they are working in the different operating system, different browser or not. right? You need to just kind of do the debugging step by step. You need to find out the error, you need to fix them, right? You need to analyze the output, you need to analyze the report, everything is done. So thing will be ready. After that, as and when requirement will be coming to execute them, or maybe you can execute them through some like pipeline, right? Or through some continuous integration, continuous development process as well. Nowadays there are a lot of tools available, like called Jenkins, called TeamCity, where things can be configured and automatically those cases can be run based on your requirement on nightly basis or on the weekend as well, and you can get the result in your mail, or you can analyze the result, and after that you can share with the stakeholders. So, right, you can run the test case through automated or the configured way. You can verify the result, you can publish the result, right? And then in case any result failure is there with the real-time issue, then you can log them as a defect and you can track those defects, and you can share that all the communication to your all your respective stakeholder. Then what is Selenium? There are a lot of tools available in the market, right, for web-based, Windows-based or client-server-based application. But Selenium primarily a tool, right, which is used for web-based application testing and for parallel or distributed testing. So there are 4 components available for Selenium: Selenium ID, Selenium Remote Control, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. So Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver later integrated to Selenium 2, then Selenium 3, and nowadays Selenium 4 version is available. So Selenium ID is nothing but Selenium Integrated Development Environment, which is a Firefox add-on, right, that user can only use in creating relatively simple test case and test suite. So it was a record and playback mechanism available. When initially Selenium came into the market, it was there, but nowadays nobody using it much. There is Selenium RC or Remote Control, which is also known as Selenium 1, which was the first Selenium tool which allow user to use programming language in creating complex tests. Then Selenium WebDriver came, which is the newer breakthrough which allows user test script to communicate directly to the browser, thereby controlling it from the OS level. Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver integrated, Selenium 2, 3, and nowadays Selenium 4 version is available. Selenium Grid, which is a tool used together with Selenium RC to run parallel tests across different machines and different browsers all at the same time. Parallel execution means executing a test cases or multiple test cases, right, simultaneously. What are the key advantage of Selenium? So Selenium, first thing is you need to remember that Selenium is a free tool. You no need to pay any licensing cost at all. So Selenium is open source and free software, and hence there is no licensing cost for its usage. Any user can download, right? Most of the thing will be free and they can start developing something. Scripting can be done in most of the widely used programming language like C#, Java, Ruby, Perl, PHP, Python, etc. Automation using Selenium can be done in many operating platforms as well, just like Mac machines, Windows platform, and Linux as well. Selenium supports different popular browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Safari, etc. Selenium Grids helps in parallel and distributed testing, and Selenium uses kind of very less hardware compared to other automation tool. What are the disadvantages? So as it is a free tool, right? So sometimes support you will be not getting. In case it's a licensed tool, right, you will be buying the license from the vendor and you'll be getting that support from the vendor in case you are struggling somewhere. But it's a free tool, sometimes you might be challenging, right? So web services REST or SOAP cannot be automated using Selenium. Selenium WebDriver requires programming language requirement for the test script for the script creation. No vendor support for tool compared to commercial tool like HPUFT. As there is no object repository concept in Selenium, maintainability of the object might be difficult, but yeah, it can be done. For reading, writing to external files, reporting and other customization, users have to rely on external libraries or the framework. Then what are the precondition or prerequisite whenever you want to start your journey using Selenium WebDriver version 4? So first thing is that Java would be required. Then you would require Eclipse or IntelliJ. then right you need to add the important dependency for Selenium WebDriver and WebDriver Manager from the Maven repository to your project. Okay, so these are the important thing you need to just be there to your system, and definitely whatever browser you will be working, that browser should be installed in your system. Okay, so first thing is Java. So this is the URL, you can open it in case Java is not installed. So this is the Java site, and you could see nowadays Java 23 version is available. So you just, if you open it, right, that Java URL, so just copy that link simply. This is the link, you can copy it. So Java is the product from Oracle. So definitely you would require some Oracle account to be created first, otherwise you cannot install that Java. And you can download any version, right? JDK 23, JDK 21, JDK 17, anything. Okay, but nowadays Selenium version should be more than like Java above 8, otherwise it will not work. And if you are having different system like Linux, you can go here. If you Mac system, you can click on that link. If you have Windows system, you can click on that link. Then right, based on your system configuration, you can just click on that installer. So automatically it will be installed. Then you need to open it, right? Then you need to have some Oracle account, and then you need to go next, and you need to accept it, so automatically Java will be installed, right? So I already having Java 19 installed in my system. So how can you can get to know? So if you click on that, your C drive, right, there will be program files, and there will be Java folder will be available once Java version is installed. And you could see that Java 19, Java 11, you can have multiple version as well. After that, in case still you want to double check, right, you can go to, you can press Windows R, you can type CMD here, and you can type here Java, all are lowercase, space, hyphen, version, and you can get what the latest version is there, right? So sometime after Java installation also, you might have some challenges to run that command. So what you need to do, right, you need to go to your computer, you need to set the path of Java, right? Go to the go to your computer, okay, go to your this PC or this computer, right click here, go to the properties, in case you are using Windows, right, any version 10 or 11, click on that advanced system setting. There is a advanced tab available, click on the environment variable, and then you set something called Java underscore home. In case it's not here, click on that new, type here Java underscore home, and then keep till JDK path, right, that path till JDK, that path you can give it here, underscore Java underscore home, in that user variable section. And in the system variable section, you can go to the path variable, right, and you can click on new in case it is not there, and you can get till the bin folder, okay, that path you can completely give to the here, right, it's already there, you could see. So anything is fine, any version Java is fine above 8 to deal with Selenium WebDriver. So that is the first thing you need to do. You need to install the Java, you need to set the properties of the Java, so Java should be available to your system. Okay, so you need to set the Java home and path variable. Then you would require some ID or integrated data environment, like it can be Eclipse, IntelliJ, anything. So if you want to deal with Eclipse, you can go to the path, right? So this is the path, and you can go here, you can just go down, and you can go here Eclipse ID for Java developer. You can, if you are selecting Windows, you can click on that link, it will be downloaded, you can open it, and you can just do the configuration, right? And whenever first time you're opening the Eclipse, you need to set that workspace, after that will be working, then you can start with the work in the Eclipse. So this is the two things required first. Okay, then once Eclipse is open, right, you can create a Maven project, and then you can add all the dependencies. Okay, I will discuss it now. Okay, so Selenium WebDriver and WebDriver Manager is there required. Okay, so here instead of Java project, right, we will try to create a Maven project. So once you are installing the Eclipse, you need to set the workspace first. So after that, if you open the Eclipse, any version, so it is 2020 to 09 version, but nowadays 2024 is available, so it does not matter any version you are using. So just you need to open the Eclipse, right? So you can work with any Java project or you can work with any Maven project, but better to use the Maven project. So you need to select the workspace wherever it is already there, set up. You click on the launch, so Eclipse will be open. So why it is better to use the Maven projects? Because right, you no need to install all the jar files. So you can add the dependency automatically, all the jar file to be added to your project. Okay, that is the reason better we can create a Maven project instead of a Java project. Okay, so initially, in case you are kind of installing Eclipse from the scratch, there will be nothing will be there in the project section, in the project explorer section. As I am using for long, now whatever project I have created, it will be visible. Otherwise, it will be completely blank. So what you can do for the Maven project, you can click on the file, new project, right? In case you want to create Java project, you just simply click on the Java project or project. Here you can give that, select the Maven project. Otherwise, you can click on file, new and other, right? Here, at already there Maven is selected. Otherwise, type here called Maven, right? In the Maven folder, you'll be getting a Maven project. Select that one, click on next. Okay, you can create the simple project, skip archive. Otherwise, you can also go with the archive also. If you just do not select it, you can click on next. You can search some archive here, relevant archive based on a requirement. Otherwise, right, you can go here and you can click on the select, create a simple project, skip archive selection. So you can click on the next and you can enter your group ID and artifact ID. So in Java project, you need to give the project name, but here you need to give two things, group ID and artifact ID. What is those? What are those? Okay, so what are those? So group ID is nothing but your organization specifier or your customer specifier or your company specifier. So for me, like I am running a channel called Haradhan Automation Library, so that is my specifier. So whatever Maven project I will be creating, always group ID I can give the same thing. That is the way I can understand that this is my specifier, right? That are the different thing I have created by myself. So it will be organization to organization, customer to customer, project to project. It will be same only. And artifact ID is nothing but your actual project name. So I can give something called Selenium 4 training session. So that is the project, and I can simply click on finish. So based on that, it project will be created. Okay. So before that, I can also give some introduction of Maven, why Maven came into the market, why we are creating the Maven project instead of Java project. So Maven is the product from Apache. It's a software project management and comprehension tool based on the concept of project object model called POM. Okay, so in Maven POM it is project object model, and there are some sort of things POM is there called page object model, right? Don't confuse it. Okay, page object model is the design pattern, whereas the in Maven pom.xml file is nothing but the project object model. So Maven can manage a project's build, reporting and documentation from central piece of information. Maven is used to define project structure, dependencies, build and test management. Right? As and when you are creating a Maven project, you will be able to get something called pom.xml file where you need to add all the important dependency. So as and when you are adding the dependency, automatically all the relevant jar file will be added to your project. So using pom.xml file, user can configure dependencies needed for building, testing and running code. Maven automatically download the necessary file from the repository while building the project. So there is central repository available in the Maven. So from where it will try to add the dependency in your local system. So Maven, that is the reason sometimes Maven is called as a dependency management tool. To execute the framework, right, we would require the jar file. So Maven helps the user to keep the up-to-date jar file on their framework. During runtime, the Maven will first check the version of the jar file present in the local system and compare it with the pom.xml file. If the latest version is available online, then to download them automatically and replace the local version and then execute the framework. So suppose say in case today you are dealing with Selenium 4, say. So Selenium 4 is already available to your a local system. So in case you are creating a new project, so it will not try to download from the Maven central repository because it is available in the local. So automatically it will integrate from your local repository. But in case you are tomorrow you are going with new version for which jar file is not available in local, so it will first download from the Maven central repository and again it will sync with the Maven local repository. So if there is no internet connection or the latest version is not available, then Maven execute the framework with the jar file available in the local system. So that is the way Maven will work. So you already created the Maven project, right? Here you could see whatever project you have created. Selenium 4 training session. So if you expand it, you could able to see there are a couple of folder. SRC main Java, SRC main resources, SRC test Java, SRC test resources, and GRE file, because Maven is also having the Java. All Java dependencies will be there in the GRE system library, but no other dependency has been added like the Selenium jar file, Web Manager, WebDriver Manager jar file. Nothing is there. So if you need, there's a pom.xml file automatically created. So you need to open that pom.xml file and you need to add the important dependency here. So for that, first before the project, right at the end, you need to add the dependencies tag. Dependencies, where you can add all the relevant dependency one by one. In case you are having multiple dependency, you need to add another dependencies tag. So what I required, what dependency I would require to add? I would require Selenium Java 4 dependency first. So why I need to go? I need to go to the mavenrepository.com, that URL. So I already came here, mavenrepository.com here, and if I just search with Selenium Java, right, 4, right, you can have Selenium Java thing is coming here, right? You can click on that one. This is coming from org.selenium HK, right? And then now lot of version available, 4.24, 4.25, like initially 3 was there. You could able to see all the version for wherever it came into the market, starting with like 2. Okay. So now if I want to go, right, because that is the version Selenium 4.2.0 came into the August 28, 2024. Okay. So it's used by lot of there. So usage is more. So I can click on that 4.24.0. That latest version I can use. So you could see there are a lot of tab available. Maven, Gradle, right, AV, Grapes, all this stuff. So we are using the Maven. So I need to simply copy it. I need to add it under the dependencies. So that is the first thing I need to add. And I can save it. So automatically you could see it is building the workspace. Means all the jar file, first it is trying to check whether it's available locally or not. In case it's available locally, automatically it will try to map it. In case it is not available locally, it will try to download from the Maven central repository. And it will try to add all the jar file to your project, which is nothing but Selenium 4 training session. Then I need to add one more jar file called WebDriverManager. So I will go again here, right? I will type something called WebDriverManager, and I need to simply click enter or search, click on the search button. You could see WebDriverManager is there, right? So there's the latest version available 5.9.2. I can click on that and I can just simply copy that Maven dependency and I can add it here and I can save it. So automatically all the dependencies jar file should be added to the project. Now you could see Maven dependencies thing got added, folder got added into the project, right? So once your dependency got saved successfully, and if you expand it, you could able to see all the Selenium related part, Selenium like driver manager, everything, WebDriver manager, everything, all the relevant jar files should be downloaded automatically and should be added here. So you no need to manually download anything. That is the beauty of the Maven project. Means whatever thing you need to do, you just need to add the dependencies. So tomorrow, suppose I need to change the dependency called 25. So we no need to change anything, just simply change it to 25. So automatically what will happen? So it will try to remove the 24 version and it will try to like download and add all the 25%. That is the beauty of the Maven. So it will remove the old version and it will just add the new version. And you need to simply change it to 25 based on that thing. Suppose say tomorrow, right, for the WebDriver Manager version 5.9.3 coming. So you come, right, you can just simply change it to 5.9.3. So automatically 5.9.2 will be removed, all the jar file will be removed, and everything whatever is 5.9.3 will be coming, right? Web of the WebDriver Manager. So that is the thing, right? Selenium WebDriver Manager 5.9.2. In case you are changing to 3, it will be 3. So that is the beauty. Everything, all the dependency, whatever is available in the Selenium WebDriver, right, as a packages or the WebDriver Manager, automatically everything, all the jar file will be added to the project. So whatever interfaces, whatever class, whatever method is available, you can call them, right, in the class you are creating in that particular project. So that is the first thing you need to do. Then next thing, right, that you can create your code and you can definitely run it. So before that, you need to understand what is WebDriver Manager. Initially WebDriver Manager was not there. So what we need to do, right? So what is the live, right? What is the Selenium features of WebDriver Manager in Selenium? Okay. So WebDriver Manager automates the management of WebDriver binaries, thereby avoiding installing any driver binaries manually. So in case you already work Selenium 3, you already know, right? After creating the project, whether it's a Java project or like Maven project, you need to install the relevant like the driver exe file. In case you are using like Chrome driver, you need to download the Chrome driver exe file. In case you are using Firefox driver, you need to install the Firefox like Gcode driver exe file based on the versions available on your system. And you need to set up the path, right? Like system.set property, all this stuff. So in case you don't know, right, you can open any of the existing project, say. So that is the thing you can understand. What is the way we need to do it, right? So this is the right, I can do open any of the thing. Okay. So say as in one. So these are the stuff we need to do. First we need to set the properties of the driver, because for every browser there will be every driver, so that step was always required. And in case suppose a browser version got changed today, okay, what you need to do tomorrow, you need to again download that driver based on your browser version, and you need to just change the path again. So that is the thing you need to do. But in case you are using Selenium WebDriver Manager, that step is not required. So Selenium WebDriver Manager will automatically synchronize it with the latest browser version. Okay. So it supports all popular browser driver like Chrome, Opera, Firefox, Edge, etc. So it will check the version of the browser installed on user machine or system and download the proper driver binaries into the local cache memory if not already present. It matches the version of the driver. If unknown, it uses the latest version of the driver. It offers cross-browser testing without the hassle of installing and maintaining different browser driver binaries. WebDriver Manager libraries provide a class called WebDriver Manager. This class consists of some static method as mentioned below to create managers for driver management. To manage the driver, select a given manager in the WebDriver Manager class to manage the driver and invoke the setup method. So in case you are using Chrome browser, you need to just call Chrome driver method and not setup. In case you are using Firefox browser, you need to use Firefox driver.setup, Edge browser, Edge driver.setup, Opera browser, Opera driver.setup, Chromium browser, it will be Chromium driver.setup. That is the way WebDriver Manager will give you those static method to use it. So that setup method, or like you no need to manually like again and again install that relevant browser driver based on the current browser. And in case something is changing, right, you need to no need to worry about that. So what was the live before and after Selenium WebDriver Manager? So before Selenium WebDriver Manager, right, before the introduction of Selenium WebDriver Manager, managing WebDriver dependencies in Selenium testing was a manual process which involves several steps. First, you need to download the WebDriver binaries. You need to add WebDriver binaries to your project. You need to set up the system properties. You need to ensure that it was matching with the compatibility. And in case WebDriver update is there, you need to again do the same work. Download and again remove the old one, adding the new one, all this stuff. Overall, managing WebDriver dependency without WebDriver Manager requires manual effort, vigilance, and frequent updates to ensure compatibility with different browser versions. It was a time-consuming and error-prone process that could lead to inconsistencies and configuration issues across different test environment. Because in case you are using different browser version, so it will not match and it will definitely fail your test case. But life after the Selenium WebDriver Manager was become easy. So introduction of WebDriver Manager greatly simplified this process by automating the download and management of WebDriver binaries. It eliminates the need of manual download, system property configuration, and version compatibility checks. WebDriver Manager handles the downloading, setup, and version management of WebDriver binaries automatically, ensuring a streamlined and hassle-free experience when working with Selenium WebDriver. One of another key feature of WebDriver Manager is the ability to manage different versions of WebDriver. This allows user to specify the WebDriver version in user project configuration and ensure consistent execution across different environments. WebDriver Manager handles the downloading and usage the specified version. In case you want to say use the backdated version also. Suppose your version is suppose 120, but still you want to use that 117, 16, you can also possible. So multiple browser version you can still work, right, with the help of the WebDriver Manager. Okay, it makes like WebDriver Manager making it easy to maintain and update user test when new WebDriver version are released. Now let's see how to start our journey, how to do the fast coding for the Chrome browser or the Firefox browser. So we already installed the Eclipse, we already created the project like Maven project, we already added the dependency. Now we'll go to the src test java folder, we'll create a package. Okay, right click here, select the folder, right click, okay, click on new, click on package. Okay, so you can give something called say Selenium 4 or test. You can give the package name as test, right? Or you can give something called com.test as well. Okay, and under the test package you can create a like Java class. So we'll show you how to create a like add the testng as well and how to create a testng project as well. But now we'll start with Java project. Okay, Java class. So right click on the packages, click on new and click on class, and you can give something called the name of the Java class. So I can give something called Selenium WebDriver 4 version 4. Okay, test script. Okay, and I need to select the public static void main method because we are going with Java project, Java class. So now you could see that thing got executed. Sorry, that added, right? That is the class name and public static void main got added. Now say what we used to do. Okay. So in the initially we used to do like that way. Okay. So system set properties was required. Okay. Like that. Okay, and WebDriver driver we are creating an object or instance. We need to maximize the browser, we need to get the window. Okay, let's remove everything. Let's remove the dependency also. So we'll try to add our code. So what we can do something called WebDriver. That is the interface available. I can create an object or instance called driver equal to new Chrome driver. That is the way I can create an object, and I need to end with semicolon. WebDriver is the interface where you can have all the important methods, right? And Chrome driver is the class. Please be remembered. So we cannot create an object of the WebDriver because that's the instance. So it is an interface. So we cannot instantiate an interface. We cannot create an object of interface directly. So we need to take the help from the class, which is nothing but the Chrome driver class. Now we can see error message is there. So we need to import the WebDriver interface at the Chrome driver class from the Selenium packages. So Chrome driver class is available in the org.openq.selenium.chrome packages, and WebDriver interface is available in the org.openq.selenium packages. Now it is done. Now I can try to maximize the gain. Driver.manage dot window dot maximize. So it will try to maximize my screen. Now if you want to open any page, so you can something like give called driver dot get. Get method is available where you can get the, you give the URL to open the page. So suppose I want to open the Google page, so I can give something that copy the URL within the double quote. I can give it because it is string, right? Now I did not given some code for the WebDriver manager. So will my code will run. Now let's save the code and let's try to run it and let's see what's happening. Okay, because it will not able to understand that driver, because driver is required, right? In case you are not using Selenium, that WebDriver manager, you could see that could not start a new session, right? So what you need to do, you already added that jar file for that WebDriver manager. So what you need to do, right? You need to create. So you need to, right, first call that WebDriver manager class before creating the WebDriver. So WebDriver manager. If you don't know the full thing, enter something and press Control Enter. Okay, Control Enter. You could see that is coming. WebDriver manager. It is coming from io.github. Right, that particular packages. Bonicorsia.wdm packages. You could see dot. You want to deal with the Chrome browser, so you need to call Chrome, right? Chrome driver dot setup. So that is the thing you need to do it. So you no need to deal with the browser version. You no need to bother about this thing, right? Now you can just save your code and try to run it. So it will open the Chrome browser. It will maximize the page and it will pass the URL, right, for the google.com. So you could see it's work. Now your code has been working fine, but still in case you want to print something in the console, right? So what you can do, you can call the SYSO method system.out.println, right? SYSO method system.out.println. Here you can get the driver dot get title, which will print the title of the page. Similarly, you can print call that same method to get the current URL, driver dot get current URL, right? That is the way you can do it. You can print it out. So let's try to run it. And now we have created a WebDriver here directly. But in case you want to deal with multiple browser, right? How can I do it? Right? All this stuff. So better that, right? You can create a global variable here. So in the class level, so public, you can define a static so that automatically, right, it will be accessible without creating the object or instance. And you can define it as a global variable and you can just add it like that, driver equal to like that. So code will still same work in the same way. Run it. Okay, it is opening the Google page. And now if you want to go here, you could see the title is coming as Google. So that is the title of the page, Google, right? And this is the current URL. Okay, https www.google.com. So my code is working fine for the Chrome browser. And if you want to quit the browser, so you can driver.quit or close, right, after opening it. So that is the way you can do it. Now say this part I want to automate, right, for my Firefox browser. So what I need to do, driver equal to new Firefox. If you don't know, just add it and press Ctrl spacebar. Firefox driver. Simply do it. And so automatically that it is coming from the packages. You could see that is the Firefox. And now you need to you need to do the setup for Firefox browser as well. Right? WebDriver manager dot Firefox driver dot setup. So that for the driver you are doing the setup with the help of the WebDriver manager, and now already driver object is created for the WebDriver interface. Now you are associating with the Firefox driver, right, class. and you want to maximize the screen, you want to pass the URL for the Google, you want to get the title, you want to get the current URL, you want to close the browser. So now it will same execution will be done in the Firefox browser. Okay, so it will try to open the Firefox browser. It should be already installed in your system. It will open the Google page, it will close the browser, and you will get the title and the current URL. Okay, so that is the way. Hopefully today you can learn, you already learned, right, how to do the setup for Selenium 4 using Eclipse, and how to create a Maven project, how to add the dependency for Selenium Java version 4, how to add the dependency for WebDriver Manager, right, how to create your first script for the Chrome browsers and the Firefox browser. That's all from today's session, guys. Thank you.